How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here, and in this video, we're going to be doing an overall market update, taking a look at the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ. We're also going to be doing a trading update, talking about what I personally did today in the markets, as well as some stocks and ETFs that I'm watching and looking to trade right now in January of 2020. And all I ask from you guys, is if you enjoy this video, find value in this video throughout any point of this video, simply go down below for me and hit that like button, and consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see further content from me. And if you actually want to be further connected with the Strive Smart community, the Discord link is down below, as well as the Facebook group. So go in there, join those, interact with us throughout the trading day. We'd love to talk to you if you're not already in there. So without further ado, guys, let's talk about what an amazing day it was today in the stock market. Starting off here with the S&P 500, which ended up closing the day up 27 points, up almost 1% here, 0.84% to be exact. And if you guys remember in yesterday's video, we were breaking down how the charts in terms of the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Dow, they were showing how we saw a correction and the bulls were taking over a bit, right? And you guys can see it right here. We saw a correction and the bulls took over towards the end of the trading day on Tuesday, which was a good sign heading into today for the bulls, right? And we got the big gap up today and, of course, an all-time high, which really puts the bulls in charge and really continues this uptrend for us here in these markets. So we actually hit an all-time high right towards the end of the market today, literally at the end of the market at 58.14 here on the S&P 500, right? So overall, nothing too crazy on a technical basis. We simply are continuing the uptrend. We saw a little healthy pull down here of around 1.5%, not even 1% to be exact, honestly, with you guys. So 1% little pull down. I said correction yesterday, guys. That was a misword on my part. A correction in the stock market is where you see a bigger pull down, more like 15-20%. A 1% pull down, that's not even a correction. That's simply a mini pull down, right? So let's just call that a mini pull down, and obviously we continued the uptrend from there. So now, what am I watching for the S&P? Honestly, guys, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we saw another good day tomorrow, into the weekend, and then maybe from there we may A, see consolidation, or B, maybe even a little pull down, maybe to the EMA line, which is this light blue line here on the 4-hour chart. So all-time high on the S&P today. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones here, guys. Ridiculous day, up 330 points here, up over 1%, 1.16% to be exact here, and we hit an all-time high at $28,872.08 today, guys. And I feel like I haven't seen the Dow Jones outperform the S&P and do this good in one day over the past couple of weeks, it feels like. Maybe even months. This may be the best day out of the Dow. This is completely just off the top of my head. This may not even be the best day, but it feels like it is the best day that we've seen in a while here for the Dow Jones. And if we break it down on the hourly chart, we can see the correction like we saw in the S&P as well. This correction on the Dow Jones was around 1%, right? And from there, we hit a low at about 28,400. It happened to be a support level, at an old all-time high resistance here at about 28,300, 28,400. We held that, and obviously we've continued the uptrend there. So on a technical basis, we may see another green day tomorrow. If that happens, we'll get pretty overextended on the RSI. Then from there, we may consolidate a bit. We may cool off a little bit before either cooling off even more or just continuing this ridiculous rally, which would lead to obviously more all-time highs and thus a higher high for the Dow Jones from here. But either way, guys, whatever does happen, we'll see it. We'll see what happens, and then we'll analyze it on this channel. So if you guys haven't yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel if you want to see these daily market updates. So let's talk about the NASDAQ, guys. I'm pulling it up here on my phone because these are the futures here, and I can guarantee you the NASDAQ did not close up $9.50. On Yahoo Finance, it says it closed up 1.33%. Which is just insanity, guys. So 1.3% today on the day, up 120 points for the NASDAQ, putting us at another all-time high here on the futures at 8907.25. We bounced right off of that 50 SMA beautifully at a higher low at about 8700. And yeah, we're just continuing the uptrend. Really, at this point, we may see some consolidation. We may see another rally. And of course, I'll be watching these large caps and what the futures do tomorrow and over the weekend heading into Monday to really get an understanding of what could happen in these markets, guys, because let's say we rally up tomorrow, that'll bring us to a ridiculously overbought state, and let's say the futures open up Sunday at like maybe down a bit, that could issue or lead us to think, okay, maybe we are pulling down into Monday, which could open up a dip buy for the bulls out there that do think, hey, these markets are going to continue to rally here for the next couple of months. You know, any pull down in, the bulls case would be a point to buy. So that's kind of some thoughts here for the markets. I'd love to know what you guys have to think about the markets down below. Let me know your thoughts. Are you buying? Are you simply holding cash? Are you taking profits on stocks? I'd love to know. So now let's talk about what I personally did today. Then we'll talk about some stocks here that are showing some crazy potential in my opinion. We'll knock those out in a couple of minutes. But what did I do today, guys? Well, first thing I did was I took profits on ATV, and this is a funny story because I must have set, and you guys know in these videos that my goal was to sell a little bit of ATV at around $60 because I've been in it for a lot of this rally, so I'm up a good chunk on ATV right now, and the goal was to sell at 60. And the funny thing here is I actually set a limit order a couple of days ago to sell some of the position at $60. And this is one of those, trades where I kind of got lucky on it because you guys can see, although the markets did well today in terms of the S&P, Dow, NASDAQ, and most of the stocks out there, ATV didn't do so well. It was down 1.3%, down 0.77, or rather, should I say, 77 cents. And a lot of the shares I have now, well, the ones that I didn't sell here at $60, they lost some money today. So the funny thing is, I forgot about that order, and once the markets opened, it sold out, and it ended up being in my favor, guys, because again, this ended up selling off 1.3%. But on the flip side, I still have some exposure here on ATV, and I feel comfortable holding it, to be honest, guys. Don't really have too much of a crazy position here. I've locked in some profits over these past couple of weeks. So, we're holding 58, 59 here. That's a good sign for me. Overall, I want to see ATV get back to around $63, which I think could happen over these next couple of months. And at that point, I'd want to completely get out of the position, and then maybe get back into it, right? Re-enter it if we were to break that level, and maybe sell at 66, 67. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's break above 62 first, and then we'll think about what we'll do after that point. So that's what I ended up doing there. As you guys read in the title, I bought more, and I bought more of Facebook. Yeah, this is the stock that I bought more of today on this big dip we saw this morning. It was pretty interesting, right? Well, actually, no, the dip was not this morning. We got the dip, these past couple of days heading into today's session, and the fact that we gapped up aggressively here, we pretty much started pre-market, I believe, today at about 206. That's a big gap up. That told me, okay, we're holding 204, 205 as a support at a higher low, and that just really, is a sign of continuation, in my opinion, for this uptrend. And you guys know that I was down a bit on Facebook heading into today's session, down a very small amount. My average was around 206-ish, something like that. Again, we were down to about 204, so I was down maybe a 1% or something like that. So I just wanted to add a bit more, and this was one of those stocks that I really haven't fully built out in terms of my swing position. So I figured today this price action really opened up an opportunity, and you guys can see, we've ran up a ton since I did buy more today, and I didn't even tell you guys where I bought more. I believe I bought more around 2.0. I think it was this dip right here. We rallied up aggressively, 208. We saw a big dip down to about 207. A lot of the tech stocks and a lot of the stocks in general were selling off here, and it opened up opportunities for a lot of stocks. But this is the one that, again, I wanted to build more, and I saw this as an entry point. Added a couple more shares here, ended up averaging up a bit, and just simply holding now, right? I'm up about what, like maybe a percent. 1.2% on those shares, and if we average in the ones that I bought a couple days ago, I'm probably up more like 1.5%. So Facebook, that's what I ended up doing. I bought more of Facebook, ended up selling some of ATV, and that's really all I ended up doing today, guys. Some other ones that I'm holding that I'm sure many of you guys know, but if you're new to the channel, you might not know right now. One is Uber. You know, I'm holding Uber. This is a swing position. This one did very well today, up 4.2%. Officially back in the green right now on Uber. On Tuesday, I was actually in the red a little bit on Uber. And again, with today's big day, pretty solid day. Not a very big day, just a good day across the board here on Uber. I'm back up on my shares. And the goal here is to end up selling out at around $33, which does, in my opinion, well, actually, it's not an opinion, it's fact. That does give, from where we are right now, another 7-8% for the stock. So I'm very comfortable with that. Average cost around right now, I believe, like $30.50. So that is one that I'm also in, and I really should write these down, guys, because at this point I feel like I'm in so many swings. What else am I in? PayPal, PYPL. This is another one that absolutely ripped it today, guys. Up 2.3%, up $2.58, and it seems like now we completely filled the gap up to around 111. And I know I said I'm going to be taking my profits here. Truth is, I did not take profits today on PayPal. I'm thinking tomorrow might be the day. If it does pop up another little bit, I may be being a little greedy here, honestly, guys. Maybe I should have took some profits today, but again, I didn't. But tomorrow, we'll see what ends up happening, and I'll update you guys there. But overall, this is looking very, very bullish. PayPal, ticker symbol PYPL. So overall, guys, that is what I'm doing right now. I probably missed a stock or two that I'm swing trading. Oh, yeah, Home Depot is another one that I'm not doing extremely well on. This is more of a break-even stock right now, but figured I'd obviously let you guys know. So those are just a couple that I'm holding. Home Depot, Uber, PayPal, Activision, Facebook. Now, let's talk about, actually, no, before we do talk about what other ones that I'm looking at, let me know what you guys are trading now. Go down below in the comments. Let me know. I'd love to know what you guys are trading, because I like bouncing ideas off of everybody in this community. Whether you're a beginner, whether you've been trading more, I like just seeing what other people are looking at, right? It always opens up my mind so I can look at other stocks. So without further ado, guys, let's talk about some that I want to buy here. Starting off with Ulta, ticker symbol ULTA, and this is one that has gotten beaten down, as you guys can clearly see, and it's slowly on the up and up now. We got a terrible earnings report, not this past one, the one before that was terrible, if you guys don't recall. The stock went down about 30-35%. And ever since then, we found a bottom at about 230. We got an earnings report. When was this? About a month ago. That was a good one. I forget the numbers off the top of my head. But ever since then, it seems like Ulta has been on the up and up, right? So if we pull up this, trend line tool here, we can see that Ulta is trading in a horizontal pattern right now. We're not in, I guess you can say this is an uptrend, right? We are uptrending from this 222 bottom, I guess you can say, but we're also clearly holding 248 or 250, should I say, rather, to make it easier. And we're trading below 267, putting us in this zone from around 250 to about 267, right? So we're kind of in an uptrend. This is looking a bit like, could you say that's a bull flag? I mean, yeah, you could argue that. This also kind of looks like a wedge in a way. It's a lot of different patterns here that I'm seeing. So I'm thinking the fact that we're holding 250, that's a very good sign for the bulls. Now, if we all we need to see, in my opinion, is a creep up into the 256, 257 level, which would really signify a break out of this little wedge that we're seeing and this overall resistance. And from there, I see no problem in Ulta filling the gap up to around 266, right? So that's a move, in my opinion, not really in my opinion, I don't know why I keep saying that. That's a move that factually, based on these percentages, will give you a 4 to 5% profit potential, right? Profit potential. I don't know what I'm saying, guys. It's late tonight. Ulta, that's what I'm thinking there. Ticker symbol ULTA. Another one that is not really one that I am dying to buy right now, but Boeing. That's always one to consider, especially with how volatile it has been and the fact that we are approaching a support at around 330, and it seems like we are holding this level that we've actually bounced and done quite well at this level in the past. We can see just one time in the past here in August, we went from 330 up to 390. That's a 15% move. We did it again towards the end of October, heading into the beginning, and not actually more towards the end of November. So another 1 month span where it did the same thing from 330 to about 375, which is about a 14% move. And now, guys, we're slowly breaking above the 50 SMA. We've already done that. This is looking like a double bottom, which is a bullish reversal breakout a pattern that I personally look for stocks. So now all I need to see really is a break into, in my opinion, into the maybe 336s, 337s, maybe even 340 to play it safe here for a potential entry. Another thing is they're reporting earnings here in about 4 weeks on the 29th of January. So be mindful of that. That could really fluctuate the stock, so don't just swing trade this without being aware of earnings, because I've seen this happen, and it's happened to me, right? It's happened to me before, where I get into a stock, don't realize earnings are around the corner, hold through earnings, and get obliterated. This was more towards when I was a beginner, when I was first starting out, wasn't aware of everything, right? And I'm sure a lot of you guys have done the same. So just fair warning, be careful about that. But hey, before earnings, there could be a move here in the next 3-4 weeks if you want to play it safe and not wait and not hold through earnings, which I typically don't do myself. I think there's potential for maybe 340 again, up to maybe 350, 360. It's definitely possible. That's my thoughts there on BA. Another one that I'll be honest, guys, I almost pulled the trigger on Disney today because of the breakout. It's Disney, ticker symbol DIS. And this is one that we kind of called out on the channel here a couple days ago. Again, I did not take a position, almost pulled the trigger, but we were looking at it because of the 145 support level hold here. As you guys can see, old all-time high from a couple months ago. Seems like we were holding that as a new support. That is a good sign that we want to move higher, right? We were also right on top of that 180 SMA on this 4-hour chart, which also has acted as a support over these past couple of months. And today we got the bullish breakout that we needed, and you guys can see through my analysis over these past couple of days, you can see based on this trend line here, this is what I was waiting for. It didn't happen on this day exactly. It ended up happening today, but now that it did happen, this breakout above the 50, the EMA, and the 180 SMA, I'm looking for an entry. Ideally, guys, I'd love to get in Disney on a pull down, maybe 147, maybe 147.50, maybe even 146.50 if we get down there. Those are a couple of different levels that I'm personally watching for an entry point. And we can see up to the all-time high at around 153. That is around a 3 to 4% potential of profit. And if it goes even higher than that, that's even more here for Disney, ticker symbol DIS. So let's talk about NEO, guys, ticker symbol NIO. We ended up seeing a sell-off today, down about 7%, which really, guys, it's nothing here because the stock was up 90%, 80%, so a little 7% correction, that's really nothing at the end of the day. But what am I thinking this is? I think this is profit taking. It makes sense, right? Stock up 80-90%. It's really at this point just people locking in those gains. Maybe people that were in here in the dollar range, the $2 range, people that made a quick 80, 90, 100%, doubled their money. They're looking to get out at this point. And does this mean that the stock's going to crash to the floor? I don't think so. I think it's kind of shaking out, the, what's that saying? It's shaking out the dead weight, in terms of people that are holding, people that are going to get out now, they're selling out. And then eventually, once all those people are out, maybe, the goal is that the stock will go up. And that's kind of what I think is going to happen here once people, continue their profit taking, if that even happens. Or even if it doesn't happen, right? I just think eventually, we're going to see a curve like this, right? Whether it's at 350 we find support, 375, I think eventually we'll end up popping back up, and the break that I'm looking for is going to be above $4 because we talked about this yesterday. Anything above $4, I can see NEO filling that gap up to 450, and then if we break 450, which it seems like there's a strong resistance at right now, that is where I can see NEO getting back into the $5 range. So don't panic, guys. Don't panic. I simply think this is a pull down, and it's to be expected with a stock as crazy volatile as NEO here, ticker symbol NIO. So the next one I have on my list here is PayPal. We already talked about that one. No need to go in further depth. I'm already holding this one like I mentioned. Plan on selling out at around 112-ish, looking to add more or just actually build a new position, anything above 112 if we get above there for the potential gap fill up to 116. So that's what I'm thinking there for PayPal. Facebook's another one we already covered. I think this is fair game up to 220, which happens to be the old all-time high. If you guys remember, more like 218. But I think it can get there. And a lot of people have argued, and really the forward PE here does not lie, that Facebook is the most undervalued based on a forward PE basis out of these major tech stocks, including, Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and so forth. So Facebook, I think, buying into this strength here would be a good idea. Ticker symbol FB. So another one here, McDonald's. This one, guys, is finally showing a nice push here. We broke into the 200s, up 1.61% today. The 3-year weekly chart is finally looking like it's a continuation pattern here. The uptrend is continuing, and what I was worried about for McDonald's, if you guys remember, was if we were to get rejected here at 198, this could be a bearish pattern that really could lead to the right shoulder of the head and shoulder pattern, which is that bearish pattern. So the fact that we actually broke 198-200. Now we're making our way up to 201 and the mid 200s. That's a good sign that the bulls are winning in this fight. The bulls are taking over, and there's just more potential here on McDonald's. So MCD, this is looking good, guys. I'd ideally want to see a pull down maybe to 198, 199, and from there, maybe we rally up to 201, 200, and then from 201 up to 205. That's another about 2-3% potential here on McDonald's. So one last stock, guys, Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA. This is one that we called out beautifully, but I didn't get the entry. Honestly, if you didn't enter this one right when the market opened or on Tuesday before we had the Wednesday day off, I don't think you would have made money or much money on this at that. But either way, this proved to be a dip buy. So at this point, I'm watching any dip on Alibaba, and I'm looking to buy into the strength because it's clearly been an easy way to make money here because you can see if we were to buy on Tuesday, and I know shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? But let's just say hypothetically we were to buy on Tuesday, we'd be up 4% on our shares right now. I should have bought it, guys, but again, hindsight's 20/20. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's just, don't use excuses like that. Focus on the next trade, which is what I'm doing here, which is why I missed, which is why I bought Facebook. So I'm not too worried about it that I missed Alibaba. It happens. It's part of the game, guys. So overall, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to go down below, hit that like button, and consider subscribing if you want to see further content from me. And don't be shy. Drop a comment. Let me know any thoughts you guys have on the market, any trades you guys are making, any stocks you're watching that you're looking to buy here in 2020. I'd love to know. And if you guys want 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400 on Webull, I have an affiliate link down below where if you use that link and deposit $100, you get 2 free stocks, no strings attached, free of charge, up to $1,400, which is insane, guys. So go take advantage of that. I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks again for watching. As always, peace out.